What's up, guys? So in today's background footage today we got Vanguard using the new 9.0 blockchain sword. We got the marksman bolt carbine, and then with the ammo version specifically, and then the inferno pistol with the extra range or melee damage when on 0 magazine capacity. So today's topic is basically a topic that's basically been in the community since launch, but has recently gained a lot more popularity because of the announcement and eventual release of the Tech Marine class in this game. As someone who's come from a game that frequently added new characters, i.e. Marvel Rivals, I do have to agree with most of the players saying, yeah, we should be able to select multiple classes. Now, because that game was adding new characters, when I was playing it at least, they were adding new characters every 3 months, and everybody in your lobbies would still insta-lock that character after launch. This game hasn't received a single character since launch, and the Tech Marine will be the first of the new ones, and you already know everybody's going to be trying to play. Now, of course, people have mentioned that balancing 3 of the same characters could be a lot of work, and that it could potentially break the game. And, well, yes, it will probably be broken. I'd argue that at this point, a lot of the missions are easy enough to be done already, so it's not like you really need to be quote-unquote strong in order to complete missions. And the hardest modes of the game, I don't think having 3 heavies or 3 bulwarks is gonna, like, you might get an extra 5 waves out of it, but eventually if you're not good at the game, eventually your cooldowns are gonna go out. You're eventually going to run into ammo economy problems. You're gonna take damage, and you're probably gonna die regardless of having the same class repeated. Some people have also stated that the game's matchmaking already prevents multiples of the same classes loading in and having to argue with each other on who's gonna pick the class. That will directly cause matchmaking times for anybody who wants to play the new Tech Marine when he comes out. Those matchmaking times will probably be abysmal. And yeah, I don't think you should be forced to play single player when a new character comes out in any co-op game, because you bought the game to play co-op, but at least most people, I'd imagine, bought the game to play co-op, so they should be able to play co-op when a new character drops as well. Some people have also argued that since each character is their own individual character, so they have their own unique voice lines that they share with other characters, they have voice lines within their own right. They argue that, well, if you put everybody and make them all the same, how are they going to ever share those dialogues? And this is an argument that I completely agree with, coming from playing a lot of COD Zombies, and then randomly, all of a sudden, you don't have any unique characters. Now they're all just kind of tied to skins. I can completely see why you want to still have the same dialogue between each individual character. I completely get it. Even though it seems like an insignificant portion of the game, it does really actually make that big of a difference, in my opinion. So you can't rebalance all the classes because that'd take too much time, and I'd rather see new content be added to the game rather than adjusting content that we already got. You also can't alienate players that have already become accustomed to hearing different dialogues in their operations, but you also don't want matchmaking times to be horrendous for players who want to play a new character. I think Saber should make 2 game modes, an operation mode and a siege mode, that removes the limits that are already selected onto each classes. This way, if you don't want to see multiples of the same class, you can just choose to not play that mode. And then if you do want to play the same class, well, then you just play that mode. And it's as simple as that. So the potential concern is that if you do that, you might oversplit the player base. So what you could do is make the operation mode permanently stuck on absolute difficulty. Therefore, no one will complain that the no limit mode is too easy. The sure players will complain that it's too hard, but eventually those players will get better if they stick with the game, and you'd rather have people complain that a game's too hard than it is too easy, because players can always just get better. Not to say it's a skill issue, you can't play absolute, absolutely not, right? But it doesn't make sense to overly split the community. And the siege mode would always be stuck on hard too. And that's how you would technically get better in the no limit mode. That's how you get better in the no limit mode, because you would be constantly playing the first 5 to 10 waves, because you're bad at the game, and if you're bad at the game, you're probably going to die in round 10. That's what it is. I mean, it's really I'm not trying to be offensive in any way, but it's the reality, and eventually you will get better, and you'll be glad that you're able to notice a skill progression. By adding this new mode, you will remove any potential concerns about overly long matchmaking times for players who want to play new classes on release, and you also get rid of concerns about people complaining about balance, because if you want balance, then just go play the normal one. And then, of course, you don't alienate those players who care about their voice lines. This could also allow Saber to collect data and see what are players choosing to play. If more players are choosing to play a mode where you can have the freedom to pick whatever class you want, no limit mode, then maybe in the third game they'll maybe focus on allowing that player freedom. If more players still continue to play normal operations and normal siege mode, then they can continue to do what they're doing already, and just make it a mode again in the next game instead of making that the primary focus. So another potential solution is by adding a modifier, a no limit modifier, which basically will allow you to pick whatever class you want despite how many players you have on that class, but the difficulty might be increased or something. That I think could be a fair way of balancing it. So then you're still alienating those players that like to hear the voice lines, but it will only be for when that modifier is active. So I kind of just wanted to give my 2 cents on the character limit discussion that we have going on in this game right now, and also give some potential solutions that might make every player happy. But let me know, do you think that they need to implement any changes, or do you think that everything's perfectly fine as is, and if you want to enjoy a new character, you're just forced to play solo without poor matchmaking times? Either way, let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, would always be appreciated, and if you really enjoyed this video, a subscribe would be even more appreciated. That's all from me for now, and I'll see you guys next time.